Hey everybody, Thomas Wendt back with you once again for Drum Factory Direct. Welcome back to our ongoing series on some of the basic fundamentals of playing jazz music. We've covered a bunch of stuff so far, and in today's lesson, we are going to be talking about one of the most important and essential grooves in the jazz idiom, and that is the basic shuffle rhythm. Now, I should start off by saying that there are a bunch of different kind of ways to play a shuffle. And today we're going to be dealing with what is sort of emerged as the most commonly heard and accepted way of playing a shuffle in jazz. There are a bunch of other ways. We might deal with some of those ways in future videos, but today we're going to be talking about what's sort of the most common way of doing this. And this groove sort of emerged out of the music that was developing in the early, mid, and late 1940s. I'm talking about sort of the first R&B or rhythm and blues music. This is music that emerged from a bunch of different places, really, in this country. Cities like Kansas City, Missouri, of course, Chicago, and even other cities like Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and right here where I'm from in Pittsburgh, PA. This is a very essential groove to playing this music. Now, what it really is an enhanced way of playing basic jazz time, as we've talked about before, where you're playing the ride cymbal, feathering on the bass drum, the hi-hat on 2 and 4. But with a shuffle, we're adding a backbeat on beats 2 and 4. And we're sort of kind of sliding in and sliding out of those backbeats with the left hand. The left hand is really the key player in this groove, since we've already talked about how to play swinging time on the drums. Now, this music, this early R&B music in the 1940s, which would sort of give way to the new rock and roll idiom of the 1950s, this groove was sort of the essence of this rhythm and blues music, this new music that was happening. Groups like Louis Jordan's Timpani 5, Joe Morris's groups, Johnny Otis and his group. These are just some of the groups where this rhythm was featured prominently. There were many, many groups that were utilizing it. And as I said, it's one of the most important in the music. So if we take the whole groove at a nice slow tempo, it sounds something like this. So that's basically what the entire groove sounds like, and I hope you could see and hear that it's very, very similar to just standard swinging jazz time playing. Again, the left hand is the key player. I'm basically playing a continuous stream of swinging eighth notes, da, do, da, do, da, do, da, do, da, do, da, do, da, but I'm accenting beats 2 and 4, and the other notes are not quite ghost notes, but they're quite soft, accenting 2 and 4. So if we just isolate the left hand at that same sort of medium to slow tempo, this is what I'm doing with just the left hand. Okay, I hope you could see what was happening with the left hand in that last demonstration. This groove is relatively simple in theory, and it's simple if you look at it on paper, but there is a lot of subtlety and a lot of nuance that goes into playing this groove well. And shuffles are played at a wide variety of tempos, from quite slow to really pretty quick. So I'm going to play an example for you starting out pretty slow and moving into a relatively quick tempo. And I want you to listen and watch as to how the left hand in particular changes just a little bit as the tempo increases. Check this out. I hope you guys were able to see what was happening with my left hand as the tempo was increasing and then as it was decreasing. The thing you want to keep in mind is as the tempo increases with a shuffle, you want to try to maintain that nice light swinging feel, and you do that by not trying to muscle out all of those notes with the left hand. You want to keep it really light. I'm really using a combination of the arm, wrist, and fingers to do this. And I'm trying to keep my arm nice and relaxed. As the tempo gets up, the left hand should actually get a little bit quieter so that you can sort of maintain the lightness of it, okay? With a little bit of practice, you'll be able to do it. It might take some time. Now, to give you sort of a practical, real-world example of this, check out this clip. This is from a gig that I actually played just last night. We ended up playing a medium-tempo shuffle blues. So this is sort of what the groove sounds like in context. Check this out. All right, I hope that gives you guys a little bit of an idea of how this groove functions in an actual musical setting. This is such an essential groove, and I hope that this lesson has given you guys a little bit of insight into how to get started working on it yourselves. As I always say, we want to take our cues from the great masters of this music, the men and women who created it. There are so many great jazz drummers to listen to, and really all of them have their own version of a great shuffle beat. Playing a great shuffle is kind of a prerequisite to being a good jazz drummer. And there's so many different drummers to learn from. Some of my favorite drummers when it comes to playing shuffles are masters like Art Blakey, Billy Higgins, Grady Tate, Mickey Roker, O.C. Johnson. There are so many to learn from, and I hope you enjoy the process of assimilating this music and this groove and listening to these great masters. What you want to remember is anytime you're playing a groove on the drums, regardless of idiom, it should make people want to dance. Your time, your groove, your feeling should make people want to move. It's one of the most important parts of playing this instrument. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, stay safe and stay close to the music. Take care.